Tonight, I want to talk about a number that I haven't talked about before that's a legal jam letter. And it is the 6. There is already, as our legals that we're talking about, in both major and minors, the 2 and the 7. So the 2 and the 7 so far are totally legal jam letters in both the town of Major Town and Blues Town. And then if I did that all the time, I would have a half step, which is a measurement to me, and then a second, and then an M3, and then a 3, and then a 4, and then a plus 4, and then a 5, and then a plus 5, and then a 6, and then a 7, and then a major 7, and then a 8. Those different intervals can be good on both Major Town and Blues Town, or in so and so what I'm talking about, wait a minute. Turning down the volume just a little bit so it's not distorted. Okay, so as this little keyboard is talking about this, if I wonder if it still works. It does. So it works. That's all. All right. 2, M3, 3, 4, plus 4, then 5. What is 5? 5 is part of the major chord or minor chord, and it's always the same, whether you have a major chord or a minor chord. And then you have plus 5. What is plus 5? Plus 5 is an actual chord. It could be like B flat plus 5. Instead of having the 5, you have a 5 plus 5 on it. Then also you could have another one called the 6. The 6. I used to forget about the 6 all the time. Where is that 6? I never even thought about that little note there. And then of course you have the 7, and I thought of that all the time because of Blues Town, because in Blues Town. And then I thought of the major 7, because that's in Major Town. I thought that all the time. But going backwards from the 7 and then to the 6, the 6. The plus 5, as I said, is a special note, like this would be B flat plus 5. And then the 5, just wondering here. 5 plus 5, 6. And then I'm back to the 7. So that's 6. It's always been there. That's 6. What is that note? Is it a legal jam letter in Major Town and in Blues Town? Let's just take a look at Major Town and Blues Town for a second. Here is just here. Here is Blues Town. Just so you can see the numbers of addresses. It can be any letter in front of it, but next to it is the actual intervals from 1 building up of 7 different houses that happens to be in Bluestown Street. Any kind of in other words, this is the zoning. I always used to call this, and I still call this, the zoning board rules of the town. Wait. So what about the 6? Hey, wait. What about the 6? What about the 6? Is a little bit fun out there in the tricky. What about the 6? What about the 6? What about the 6? This little thing called the 6 and the 6 that's in a major street. It's in a major street. it sounds okay. It does. The 6 sounds okay. What about if it was in blues town? There is no 6. It goes from 5 to 7. Just like in the beginner, it goes from 1 to M3. Here it goes from 5 to 7. There is no 6 in blues town. But just as a 2 was good in major town and blues town, maybe there are other numbers, which I already said the 7 was, which we already talked about a couple of those rules ago. The 7 is good in both major town and blues town. Maybe there's another number out there that is good. It happens to be the 6. What about the 6? What about the 6? It's a great thing. Oh, what about the 6? It is so cool. Let's listen to it. But this is really cool. It's not even in blues town. Minor. Minor. What about that 6? There it is. Listen to the difference. It changes to a minor sound that goes, isn't that cool? This is it. Oh, there it is as just a pure minor chord. Put a 6 on it. But it doesn't sound bad. It actually enhances it. I think it's a really cool sound. I'll make that octave chord that I always talk about where I put the thumb and then the octave, whatever the thumb is, and then in between build a chord. It's called octave chord or a 4-note chord to start out with, like here's a minor, and then what's a 6? I can add it in there. I have 5 fingers, I can add it in there. 1, M3, 5, 6, 8. Listen to how cool that is. That is a minor 6. Listen to that. Here's the bass note. You can really hear it. Not changing any letter. Any letters are I mean, whatever I'm in, and I'm in a minor now, and I'm adding the 6, and I'm octaving it. So I'm inverting, and you can really hear that 6, what it's really doing to the chord. Here's just a pure without the 6, just inverting. Right? Now I'm going to add the 6. Listen to what it does. Versus this. Well, for one thing, it makes it nice in rhythm because there's another note, but it really has a great sound. I've heard it. Inverting always helps you hear better. I always like to switch, I can go to chromatic neighbor and hear there's E flat with the 6. I just think that's so great to add that 6 in the minor, even though it's not in the minor. Even though it's not in blues town, it sounds good. I was playing all 6s with minors. So I'm calling it a legal jam letter of blues town, or minors. You can use a 6 as a legal land-on jam letter anytime you want to in a minor. It's really great. And it really proves itself in a major. How does it prove itself in a major? It makes chords so happy. Listen, how does it does it? Wait, a minor. That is in a minor. That is great that it works in a minor, even though it's not on the block as an address. It works as a minor to a minor. And it wasn't even in ding, blues down. It wasn't even there. No 6. Why does it sound good? Because it's a legal jam letter. It's legal. 6 is legal in a minor. Now, what about a major? It actually does something special to a major chord. Let's just go major. Major? Okay, now, what is majoring? I am majoring in the 6. Now listen to what it does. I'm just going to play just the major 3. I'm sorry. Ding! Major. And 4-note chords with an octave on the end of it. Oh, I'll invert them. I think it's cool. Appreciated. I call them broken chords. broken chords of F, broken chords of E, E, not E minor, E. Now what about that 6? What if I put it in there? It doesn't sound bad. Just like when I had it in a minor, didn't sound bad either. It sounded cool. Major sounds cool. Minor, major, minor. The 6 is a great land-on letter. It's not sour at all. It is a great letter to jam on. The 6 works in a minor and in a major. But what does it do to a major? It makes it so happy. Can you hear the difference between a pure, just F, and then a happy F? A pure E, and then a happy E? Inverted. I could solid invert it. I think it's so great because it makes just the major and add the 6. It does not do anything to affect it. There's no sourness or no dissonance. It's the 6 in a major and in a minor. But it makes it so happy in a major. I think it's just so happy. I could say, I'm happy because I'm a 6 in a major. So anyways, the 6 is good in major, the 6 is good in minor. It is, they all are. The 6 is a legal jam letter in both major and minor. The 6 is a major and a minor. Good. Major, minor, major, minor. The 6, because the 6 is good in both major and minor. Major and minor, major, minor, 6. I think it's cool. The 6s are great. In the major and in the minor. Does different things to both major and minor and major.